So I'm Phoebe, the co-founder of Litecoin and Likeland. So today I'm going to share about decentralized publishing. If you were at the keynotes on the first day, perhaps you already heard about what I do, but would love to extensively introduce what we actually worked on. So some of you might know from the area that I came from, which is Hong Kong, there are a lot of pro-democrat media got shut down and history got wiped off in a blink of an eye. So that's how we started exploring publishing that we can send it to IPFS or other decentralized storage solution. So we have been working with a lot of layman users to educate them about, hey, if that's not your key, that's actually not your content. And to describe IPFS, I would say IPFS right now, or the decentralized storage, is actually like a massive library of Alessandra. But when you walk into a massive library, it's actually very hard for you to look for a book. So that's why we started to brainstorm, hey, do we need a metadata registry, just like how library works, where you can actually search, which I saw IPFS search team is here. They're doing a great job where you can actually retrieve content from the IPFS network. So what if when journalists or writers, when they publish things, is there a way that we can better educate them which metadata they should put so that it's better for indexing, so later on they can actually search on content? So the first thing that we built is a ISDN open standard that we suggested to our publishers. It is on our chain called the Litecoin chain based on Cosmos SDK. So that's basically what the purpose of the chain, which we serve as a metadata registry layer. It is a proof of stake blockchain on Cosmos SDK. And we combine it to the IPFS network. So meaning when users come to us, they will register ISDN instantly, and then it will also help them store to IPFS. So whenever people are looking for their content in our network, they'll be able to obtain like a ISBN card attached to their content in all their blogs. And when you look into the metadata, you will see there are actually the content storage location. There will be a lot of stakeholders and owners details here. And to demonstrate how it actually works, we come up with the tools. Actually, it's on WordPress. It's a WordPress plugin that we integrate the entire publishing flow. It's a bit small, but you can see this is actually the editor inside WordPress where people usually write blogs. So basically, I would say they can write as usual, but they can publish differently. So they can simultaneously click, oh, I want to store it on IPFS. Then they can just press published, and they can actually instantly publish to IPFS. And they can actually also update it, which is we provide a versioning update in terms of the ISDN ID, where we'll link back to the original first version of that IPFS location. So that's a plugin that's already available on WordPress, and that's something we have been working on. However, there are a side note that I would like to say is when we start exploring this kind of integration, we actually find out pinning was an issue for us, and it's not effective enough when we retrieve content from IPFS network. So currently, how we connect between these two is actually through Arweave on permapin. However, like after a lot of discussion in the camp, I think we will try to explore some other way with Filecoin as well. So that's something on our infrastructure level. So next thing is, so what are the other interesting use cases in Litecoin or in Likeland? The first track that we have, or something that I have been mentioning, is the civic track on content integrity and authenticity. So we were part of the Starling Lab project on submitting criminal crime for Ukraine and Russia to the International Criminal Court earlier this year. So ISDN was being used in this particular project. And it was a great exposure for us to be selected as other layer one chains like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And the second use case that we usually do is to work with journalists who wanted to have their own site to publish news. So we basically help them on board to WordPress and also enable the plugin to them so that they can actually create a self-archive for their news article. So to add on that, the reason why we wanted to do this is because a lot of archiving that the civic society is doing is actually the way backwards, how they archive something that already published to the internet. And however, for their day-to-day workflow, we believe if they can publish to the internet at the same time they can publish to IPFS, then the archive already exists at the same time when they publish to the internet. So the archive actually happened at the same time when they publish to the internet. So that's why we have been building WordPress plugin and would like to extensively promote this to media and journalists or writers or bloggers to use. And the second track of use cases that we have is more commercialized, which is something we recently launched, which is writing NFT. So I would say, first is there's no migration needed. Whenever I talked about writing NFT, a lot of people reference this as mirror.xyz. And I would say we're a little bit different, which we are not a platform. However, we will enable each website to become their own mirror.xyz so that they can actually have full control of their content. They have full control over their site, traffic, and I think most importantly, to explore business model in a mixture of Web 2 and Web 3. So whenever writers and publishers, when they heard about NFT, they're actually quite intimidating. However, if you can provide something that add on to their existing business model, like advertising or subscription base, to explore Web3 features, then actually is much more friendly. So that's why we took this approach to actually help them transform or upgrade their site with a widget that can enable NFT collection of their blog. So I screen cap a little bit of the experience. So this is the website, and you can see the widget attached to the blog. And when you actually click on the metadata, you can also see it is already published to IPFS. So in short, it's a very seamless experience as a blogger, so they don't have to migrate to a new platform. Instead, they can remain in their existing websites, and they can do everything within the widget. So that's something that we have been building in the past 2 months, quite new, but it's very exciting, and a lot of writers actually show interest in the early adoption of this. And we also recently got a use case on someone actually applied to book NFT. So we can foresee a future where publication actually look towards more a NFT native publication model, or how they actually store and distribute to owners. So that's something very exciting to explore. And to give you an idea of our audience base, so Litecoin actually started in 2017, and Litecoin is a bit new. We started in 2019-20, where we work on plugin, where we work on much more commercial-facing and layman user-facing tools. So accumulatively, we have about 8,000 sites right now, and actually 9,000 when I checked this morning. So they actually install the plugin, they load the button. We also work across with other media. So we are basically like the engine of other media site. For example, individual sites, or even a Chinese version of Medium called Matters. They are also using some of our features to power their sites. We also work with Fact Check Center on the Civic track, where a lot of their fact check report are actually available on IPFS as well. As mentioned, because we are a proof of stake blockchain as well, we had a very interesting stack of validators onboarded, not only from the Web3, but also from the media side. This is something that we really want to see, to have a hybrid of validator set so that they can exchange ideas on how they want to governance the chain and the community. The early ideas of Litecoin also submitted to several hackathons, and actually won a reward in Google Innovation Challenge 2 years ago, and very exciting to be here at IPFS as well. And this is my lovely team member. Today is just me here. I work with majority of engineers on the team, and they are from Hong Kong and Taiwan, super talented, so would love to connect with you guys if you would like to learn more about us. And most importantly, actually just kicked off fundraising for Litecoin, which is the awesome people that I see here to continue that work. And would love to look more into accelerator, incubator, that can continue our work at Litecoin. Thank you so much.